Hi, so if you're just starting out in consulting, what's the one thing you need more than most? It's clients. But be careful, not all clients are good clients, and that's the topic for this week. Okay, so why do I say that not all clients are good clients? Well, quite simply, some can be a pain in the butt to work with. Maybe some are going to be a little bit slow in paying. There are a lot of different characteristics that you need to think about when you're selecting your ideal clients. And yes, you should be selecting them just as much as they're selecting you. I mean, this is something that took me a while to learn, I have to say, when I first started consulting. And that is, don't take every bit of business that comes through your door. Not all business is good business. So let me just share some very simple ideas with you. So let's do a little bit of a 4-box matrix here because we're all talking about consulting. And what we're going to be talking about here is the client need and the client size. So you can think of that in terms of turnover or number of people employed or whatever. So obviously we want to be working with clients who have the greatest need. They'll appreciate what you're doing more. There's an opportunity for a much longer relationship because you can help them with a number of things. So whatever it is that you do, start thinking about the types of businesses, the types of clients that will have a lot of those needs. Okay, so my consulting business works in supply chain. So the sort of companies that we work with are companies that have problems in warehousing and transport and inventory. And there's 20 different things that we can help them with. So that's a really good opportunity for us to build a great long-term relationship and help them with lots of things. So it sounds a bit obvious, but whatever it is that you do, your ideal clients have got to need it, okay? And if you're struggling to think of who needs it, you might have to think of a different niche. Okay, why is size important? Well, look, I don't want to be unkind to smaller companies, but larger companies have a greater need. They'll have a greater need ongoing. Larger companies generally are, well, not always, but generally easier to work with. So they're used to working with consultants. And they're just, commercially easier to get along with. If you're working with a startup or a really small company, your fees could be significant for them and it's going to make them nervous and they're going to be riding you all the time to make sure that they're getting absolutely, every cent's worth of value out of you. It's a very different sort of relationship than a larger company who kind of goes, yeah, okay, that's a fair price, get on with it. And, the commercial stuff doesn't sort of get in the way too much. So having said that, ideally, you're looking for clients who have an urgent and greater need for your services, and generally the larger clients will have that ongoing need more. That's pushing us up to this quadrant. Let's think of another little quadrant within that. And here's a couple of things to think about. One is culture, and one is their own record of using consultants. And what do I mean by that? You get a really good feel for a business culture, even on your first meeting. So start thinking about the type of businesses that you want to work with, the types of people that you want to work with. Because if your consulting business goes well, you're going to be doing this for a very long time and you want to enjoy doing it. Let me be blunt. Who wants to work with dickheads? So make sure that you are picking clients that have a really good business culture that matches you in terms of culture and values. That's going to be such a much more rewarding relationship. It's going to be easier for you to work with them. You're going to have more fun doing it, and you're going to get better outcomes for the client. Also, what's their record of working with consultants? And to a degree, this comes back with the size of the business. If this is the first time they've hired consultants and whatever your fee is a really big deal for them, it's going to be a bit of a pressure sort of situation for that very first assignment. Whereas, most of our clients, we make sure that they have a really good culture, they're fairly large businesses, but they have a solid track record of successfully using different types of consultants before. They know how to get the most out of a consultant. They know the role of a consultant. And maybe they've had IT consultants in, they've had marketing consultants in. We come along to help them with their supply chain. They kind of get how the relationship works and how to make it work. And it's just easier. So there you go, particularly when you're starting out. Not all business is good business. Be very careful about the companies that you're selecting to work with. They must have, an ongoing need for the services that you provide. Larger companies tend to be better, and depending on, your niche, a large company could be $5 million turnover or $10 million turnover. In our niche, it's $1 billion or $20 billion. So size, need, and then when you're starting to hone in a little bit more, what's their record of using consultants like? Do they have experience of working with consultants, and what's their culture like? Does it match yours? Okay, so fire away any questions you have down below. I'll be happy to answer those. I answer all those myself. And lastly, if you're not subscribed, do hit the subscribe button, hit that bell, and you'll be notified when our next video is coming out, and they come out every Wednesday. So I'll see you next week.